up to 12 minutes past 2. Well, I am delighted to welcome in the flesh, as I often say, maybe not all of it this afternoon, Nigel Pivarro. Good afternoon, Nigel.
Good afternoon to you.
And I'll try hard not to call you Terry all afternoon. Do you get fed up with people calling you Terry?
It can be a bit of a bind, but it doesn't matter as long as people are very good-natured when they refer to me in that vein. That doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the character that you play of Terry Duckworth, he's not exactly been, one of those nice sort of chaps. He's always getting into trouble. He's locked up at the minute.
He is.
His wife is dead. His son's been looked after by mum and dad.
Well, he'll turn out to be worse than Terry then, won't he?
Interesting to see what way he does turn out, indeed. When people do does anybody ever say, as you said there, in a nice-natured way, you don't mind them if they talk to you about Terry Duckworth, but would you get the odd wag who would try to get stuck in about...
From time to time, you get the odd smarmy person trying to be clever, and, I soon, chop them down and cut them short and stuff, and say, basically I've got no time for it. I say I've got time. I've got not all day, but I have got time for people who are genuine fans or just genuinely want to be nice. But if somebody wants to be stupid or what have you, that's
obviously,
it.
you have your rights at the end of the day as a person.
Of course, and I don't do Coronation Street anymore, so I'm less beholden to be an ambassador of the show than ever before. Exactly. And as I say, if people are nice, then I'm nice back. If people are cheeky, I'm cheeky back. You know what I mean?
Take as you find, in
yeah,
other words.
Absolutely.
I said at the beginning you were here in the flesh today, but I believe we're not seeing as much flesh here in the studio as we could see perhaps at the theatre this week. Is this true? Are you taking your clothes off?
No, I don't know where this rumour's got out. There's no shedding of clothes at all.
How disappointing.
No, it's. I think the play Greek, which I'm doing at the Arts Theatre and the Riverside Theatre in Coleraine, has developed this kind of rumour, or that that it's full of nudity or what have you.
It's not.
Wrongly, and it's possibly emanated from the fact that it is a play which is full of very explicit language, very rude language sometimes, explicit expletives, referring many times to sexual imagery.
Right.
Sexual organs and sexual goings on, but not in a necessarily a crude way. There's a great deal of intelligence behind this play. It's a play by Stephen Burkoff, one of Britain's foremost, if not the foremost writer. Very pugnacious it is too. It's a stream of consciousness by him which rails against everything from, dare I say it, Irish terrorism to the pollution of the environment.
Is it, I have been told, loosely based on Oedipus, Sophocles' Oedipus?
It is the Greek classic, and the story of a guy who falls in love with his mother and kills his father. But I have to say, not with his knowledge. Before he does that, he falls in love inadvertently with his mother. And then the story takes off. So the narrative is based on that story from the Greek classic, but it is transposed to London of the early 1980s, when we were just going from the chaos of a Labour government to, some would say, the even greater chaos of a Conservative government.
Well, you can say that. I say nothing.
Right. Well, I'm only saying some would say.
The character, does your mother appear in this play with you? I mean,
yes, she does.
As Eddie's
as Eddie's. Oh, not as Eddie's mum, no. Because
we don't know what's her mum. Your mum.
No, you don't, because they've been separated at birth, you see.
She's an older woman, obviously.
Yes, she is. They've been separated. He has a penchant for older women, shall we say. But they were separated when he was very young, and so obviously he's never known his mother. And it's quite inadvertent that they've come together like this. And then, obviously, the discovery is the real facts are horrific.
Absolutely. We'll not ask you how it all ends up, because we want people to go along and find out what the outcome is. But how many are actually in the cast with you? Is it a small cast?
It's a small cast, only 4, and it's a very peculiar style of theatre in that it's very expressionistic. The language, as I say, it's very explicit, but it's not necessarily as offensive as you would find in other plays because it's not a naturalistic play. It's delivered mostly in monologue form and mostly in a kind of Shakespearean style. Therefore, because it's not delivered in that kind of naturalistic sense, it's perhaps more poetic, or it kind of fits into a kind of poetic style, more so than it would if obviously you had two people arguing across a table in a very naturalistic way. There's also a degree of mime in it. There's a bare minimum of props. It's kind of loosely, I suppose, closest to perhaps German expressionistic theatre of the 1930s.
Right, something I'm not familiar with.
Something I'm not that familiar with until this particular play.
Right. Did you choose, did you want to do this play? Because it sounds to me like a heck of a challenge.
It is a heck of a challenge, you're very right. And it's a play that when it was offered to me, I was going to New York, in fact, not to do anything special, but to look around the New York scene to see if I could perhaps break into the fringe theatre scene there for a change of climate and a change of scenery. But and that's still an ambition of mine. But this play came up, and obviously it was just too good to leave behind. So I decided to stay on until this was finished. And
where have you been before you got to Northern Ireland with Greek?
Manchester, good old Manchester, and London, Bristol, Yeovil.
You've been on the road for
Liverpool,
a while now.
Derby. We've been on the road for about 2 months now. Yeah.
Does Northern Ireland finish it, or do you?
No,
move?
no, not at all. We go on back to England, and indeed to Scotland as well. And we finish, in fact, in the summer.
Good heavens, it's a long time to go.
It's a hell of a slog. It's a hell of a slog.
You mentioned New York a moment ago, Nigel, and said that before you were offered this part in Greek, that you were thinking of going to New York to perhaps try and break into the fringe of theatre there. Both of those things seem hard in comparison to staying in what we look upon as the relative security of something like Coronation Street. Can I ask you, I mean, I'm sure you told me before, but I'd like to go back and ask you why you made the decision to leave that security.
Well, probably because I'm a shilling short of a 10-bob note, really. Well, I do sometimes think that, really. I do. I think, oh, my God, I could have stayed there and just made even more money and, and had a even nicer life and an easier life and, and enjoyed myself with the cast, because it is a very enjoyable cast and a very enjoyable working situation. But, then again, I remember how unhappy I was while I was there towards, not all the time, but towards the end, in terms of once I'd figured I'd established the character and developed the character as much as I could, that
there was nothing more to do.
There was nothing more to do artistically, really. It would have taken years to develop the character. You can develop the character a lot in, say, 2-3 years because you are starting from scratch. Once you've developed him, to bring a character on any further, to make that character even more interesting, takes, once you've reached that peak, takes so much more time. So therefore, I wouldn't have been artistically fulfilled. There was all sorts of other parts and challenges that I thought, as I was getting older, would be passing me by. That I would never get the chance to play again, because if I decided to leave the street, say after 10 years, there would be then parts that I wouldn't have been able to play. And
still a big decision to make.
It's very, very much so. And as I say, it's not without some regret sometimes. But
you're lucky you go back. I mean,
exactly.
You're very lucky in that
respect. At the moment, it's not so bad, because I have, in a way, the best of both worlds, because I can go back and make a little bit of money and re-establish the character, and the character does build a little bit again, and work again with old friends, but at the same time have my freedom to work outside and to take on the challenge of other roles, and not to be also bound by this
one character.
Yeah, and this also this kind of tied to this image of Coronation Street, whereby you feel kind of almost, it puts a great pressure on you being in Coronation Street outside of the show, because you feel very honour bound to as I said before,
to be loyal to everything.
Yes, and to be a kind of an ambassador for the show.
Yeah.
Therefore, not to be doing a part, for instance, such as Eddie, or such as some of the other more controversial parts, where inevitably people would flock to the theatre to see somebody from Coronation Street in a part, which they would then leave the theatre perhaps very disillusioned or very, very shocked, you know.
Yes, and they couldn't take the character seriously again.
Yeah. So as I say, the way it is now, I'm not committed in that same way to the street and doing a PR job for the street outside of it, because it's common knowledge that I only drop in every now and then. It's common knowledge that I have my my other work.
Well, how do you prepare? Do you go and have a lie down this afternoon, or
glass of whiskey and?
I bet you do not.
No, of course
the
I
cardinal
don't.
rule: you never drink before you go on stage.
Oh,
Is that right?
I don't know. So many people break that. I don't actually drink. I drink enough after.
to help you relax afterwards. Yeah. You're sitting here today with one black eye and one red eye. What on earth happened to you?
The scaffolding on the set.
You bumped into
the scaffolding. We have a very sort of frugal set, and my eye and a piece of scaffolding had an argument. It's not painful at all. It's just
it looks very sore.
It looks it, but it's not.
Well, I hope that you will have great houses tonight and tomorrow night at the Arts in Belfast, and from Thursday through Saturday at the Riverside Theatre in Coleraine. When you finish with this these performances of Greek towards the summer, you're hoping to head off to New York. Will you do that then, or have you any other plans at the moment?
I'll do that then. You know, hopefully nothing else will come in to tempt me to stay, because I think I must get over there and check it out while I'm still, you know, young enough to sleep on settees and tenement floors and what have you. You know,
Is that what it's like in New York?
Well, it's like it anywhere when you go to a new town, isn't it? You know, and you don't know too many people. You've got to take what comes, and you've got to be, you know, take the rough with the smooth. So
well,
I do that while I'm still young enough.
Right. The final question has to be, when's Terry coming back? Is he going to get out? Is he going to get parole?
He's definitely going to get out.
Well, we know that 3 years' time, we reckon.
Well,
but
no,
it'll
be well before that, because obviously he got 3 years, but you don't do 3 years. You get time off for good behaviour and automatically, and then you can get parole on top of that. So he's due to be out fairly soon, in fact, and I think there could well be a development in the story of his chasing up Des Barnes.
Oh, no.
Even in the score.
He'll be straight back in again then. Oh, well, we look forward to seeing what happens to him. Thank you, Nigel, for your time this afternoon.